Alright everyone, so it is 1:30 in the afternoon now, and I'm going to go ahead and start cutting stuff up for supper, and that way it's already done. So what I'm going to cut up is for my chicken fajitas. I have 3 bell peppers here, so I'm going to cut up all 3, and they're kind of small, so I'll probably end up using them all. And I'm going to slice up an onion for the fajitas, and for the pizza burgers, I'm going to chop up an onion and take some mushroom pieces and stems and cut them up just a tad bit smaller than what they are, some of them. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and that way that stuff is done, and then I'll be done with that part of everything. And then I think I will cut up the chicken, slice up the chicken, and then make a fajita seasoning. I'll be making my own first time. So, and then I'll put the chicken and the peppers and onions in a bag, put a little bit of oil, and just let them rest for a little bit, let them marinate for a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so I'm going to get started. I'll catch you somewhere along the line. Alright everyone, so I'm done cutting everything. I've got the small chopped up onions for the pizza burgers. I've got the bell peppers and the sliced onions for the fajitas. I cut up the mushrooms a little smaller than what they were. And I'm not going to mix that in because these won't be until we put them together. Those are going to go on top. So that's why I have them in a baggie. So, but they'll be ready. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get the pizza burger meat together and then cover it up and just put it in the fridge for whenever he's ready to have them. And that way that's done, and then I'll come back, I'll grate some cheese because I got to do some mozzarella, and I'll do some cheddar jack or triple cheddar. And then once all that is done, then I'll come back and cut my chicken up and get all that marinated. So I think that's the plan. Alright, so let me get the ground beef ready and all that I need for that. Alright everyone, so I'm going to get the pizza burger meat together. So I've got a pound of ground beef. This is 80-20. When the way you make these, you don't want a high fat content because it will just make your rolls or your buns, whatever you use, soggy. So I've got a pound of 80-20, and I'm going to throw in the onions there. And I'm using gloves because sorry, I had to shut something off. I'm using gloves because I'm going to end up putting my hands in this and mixing it all together. And so these are food grade gloves. These are medical gloves, but they're also food grade. So 1 pound of 80-20, some chopped up onion. We're going to put a bottle of chili sauce in here. I already popped it open. So. I probably should have put some salt and pepper on that first. Yeah, you don't want to put any water or anything in that. Alright, we're going to use some horseradish mustard. We're going to do 3 tablespoons, or 4. Glenn said put 4. Oops. Alright. Then we're going to go ahead and mix all this together. Normally when I used to do this, I didn't wear gloves before, and my hands were just so full of this stuff. It's coming together pretty nice. You can feel that it's moist. You don't want it too dry, and you don't want it too moist either, because like I said, any moisture, excessive moisture, will make your rolls soggy. I've always used 80-20 for this. Oh yeah, that came together really nice. And he's hungry right now, so it's 2:30, so he's probably just going to have some right away. So I'll make his right away. I'm hungry too, but I'll make his right away, and then that way he can eat, and then I'll work on mine while these are baking. These are going to go in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 40 minutes. Just make sure your ground beef is cooked. And I'm probably not going to use all of this. I'm going to probably end up freezing some for another time. I was just going to do like half a pound of ground beef, but I thought, well, I could freeze some for another time. That way it's already done. This came together really nice. Alright, I'm going to go ahead, take off my gloves, salt and pepper this. Put more gloves on and mix it up again. I should have put the salt and pepper on the ground beef before I mixed everything in. Okay, so let's throw some salt and pepper in that. He likes a lot of pepper. And some salt. Alright. Give it another mix. Alright, that should be good. And I need to grate up some cheese before I put his together. So I will be back to grate some cheese. Alright everyone, so I am going to shred up this pack of cheddar jack. I thought it was triple cheddar, but it's cheddar jack. So I'm going to go ahead and shred up this whole thing. He wants this one on his pizza burgers, not the mozzarella. So let's get that shredded up so I can get his pizza burgers going. Alright, we got that shredded up. Got the oven preheated. Alright, so I'll wipe all this down in just a little while. Alright everyone, so these are the rolls that I froze earlier in the week that I said we are going to be able to use them for the pizza burgers. So when you hear pizza burger, you're probably thinking marinara sauce or pizza sauce with a hamburger patty and some mozzarella cheese or something like that. And this is obviously, as you can see, totally different. So so one roll, they're going to get cut in half, so that is 2 pizza burgers. And that's 4. He wants 5 right now. He's probably not going to eat 5 right now, but he'll have some later on if he's hungry. Okay, so I cut one and I'll put half of it back in the bag. Alright, I'll go ahead and cut the others. This has cornmeal on it and he just does not like that cornmeal, so I try to brush off as much as I can. Alright, so we have 5 pieces of rolls, and you can use whatever you want. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put some the ground beef on there. I'm just going to use a spoon to scoop it up. So yeah, you're not going to pre-cook the ground beef, you're just going to mix all that together and leave it and then put it on top here. It'll cook, and that's why you don't want a high content fat, because as it cooks it's going to soak into your roll. I find that the 80-20 isn't that bad. So we used the high fat one time and the rolls were just saturated. Now you could make them as thin or thick as you want, if you can see how the layer is there. I'll put a little bit more. And go all the way to the edge. Alright, so I'm going to fill all these in with the ground beef first, and then we'll come and put the mushrooms and cheese on top. Alright, so we've got the layer of ground beef, and you can see how much is left. There's still quite a bit left. And you can put as little or as much as you want on there. It depends how thick or thin you want the layer of ground beef. So now I'm going to take some of these mushrooms and put them on top. Alright, so now we're going to throw some shredded cheese on there. And I think these came out pretty good. Tastes good too. Alright everyone, so now these are ready to go in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes or until your ground beef is done. Alright, so again I got it at 350 Fahrenheit and I'll be back when they're done. Alright, so this is how much is left of the raw meat, and I'll put it in the refrigerator for tomorrow, and then whatever he doesn't eat of this tomorrow, I'll write on it pizza burger meat, and I'll put it in the freezer for another time. Alright everyone, so the pizza burgers have been in for 30 minutes, and the rolls are toasty, but not saturated, so the meat content was good. So I'm actually going to take some to Glenn, have him try them, make sure they're done. And then, but that's all there is to making pizza burgers with chili sauce and horseradish mustard. So, yeah, so now Glenn will be taken care of, which I like is when he's taken care of and then I can just work on my stuff. So I didn't do anything with the chicken. I figure I'll wait till his stuff is all done and then I'll do mine. So I will be back.